Welcome to our podcast, Learn Biblical Greek, brought to you by Dr. William Stewart, the co-founder of Telios. This captivating podcast teaches you biblical Greek through a verse-by-verse study of the book of Ephesians, interjecting Greek grammar, Greek word meanings, and vital theology concepts. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey. Your study will be more effective if you use the Greek text with the Bible word codes, either on the eSword download or Bible Hub website. These links are on our podcast website at www.teliosresearch.com.
Hi, this is William Stewart, co-founder of Telios. Welcome back to our podcast on learning biblical Greek. Get that Greek text out with the verb and noun codes. Open up the grammar on the website if you need it. And let's go. We're at Ephesians 3, and we are doing the second half of verse 7. Remember, Paul is talking about his service to the church, bringing in the Gentiles and relaying the key information to the church, which is presented in the epistles, our commands and how to live the Christian life. So Paul was the major supplier of this information, and this is all based upon, and we found in chapters 1 and 2, the plan of salvation and Christ's effectual working at the cross and the structure of the church. So now we're in the knowledge of the church. Let's go. So in the middle of the verse, we find short word, teen. It starts with a T, so you think of an oblique case articles. So the oblique cases are the dative, accusative, genitive, and indeed it is. And it precedes a participle, which we'll come to in a minute. Eta N tells you it is the feminine accusative singular, and it matches that of the participle. So that would be translated, the participle is given, and be translated who gave, and or has given. So we don't have an exact translation of this in the English. But let's look at this participle, and it'll help us decide about it and how to handle it. Is there a prefix? No. Is there a augment? No. So we know it's not a past tense indicative. It starts with the root, do. Now this is the root for didymai, give, a very common verb. It changes in the past, in the aorist, middle, and passive to an O instead of an omega. And of course, it loses this repetitive D outside the present tense. So the repetitions generally go away outside the present tense. So let's move on. How do we know it's a passive participle? In the aorist, that theta, eta, I tells you it's an aorist passive participle. The SAN tells you then that it's the accusative feminine singular, the ASAN. Why did the omega in the root change to the O? We don't know. It just does that in the middle and the passive aorist. So sometimes Greek just doesn't explain itself. Frustrating sometimes. Usually it's very regular. But like any languages, it has its unusual quirks. So, who God gave, which God gave, talking about grace. So the relative pronoun, which I guess really the teen is relative pronoun in the form of an article, but it's acting like a relative pronoun in front of the participle. Sorry about that. Refers back to charis in the first part of the verse, which is a feminine third declension, kratos, in the genitive. So that grace was given, MOI, to me. So that I is the dative. So it's to me. Kata, this is, this is a preposition, generally has an abstract meaning in the epistles. And in this case, it's followed by a noun, ten, that's the article, and then the ergeion, that is the noun, and that the eta, nu, on the article, and the alpha, nu, on the noun, tells you it's the feminine accusative. So the kata, taking the accusative in the following noun, means according to. So according to the work, tis, again, short word, starts with T. Think of an oblique case. The eta S is the feminine singular genitive. And dunameos, power, that's in the feminine. You see that the ending, omega S, doesn't match the article, so that tells you it is third declension. Alpto, that OU, we've seen a lot. His, the word means, and it's the genitive singular masculine. So, which was given to me according to the work of his power. So this is the ministry that Paul was made a minister by his gift of grace according to the effectual working of his power. All right, thanks for joining me today. We'll keep going with verse 8, some great information in this passage. And then we come to Paul's second model prayer at the end of this chapter. Great stuff. Wonderful to know Greek. Join me next time.